Okay, here we go. I'll just stop it. I'll pause it over and over again and just make sure that we write some notes on, because it will really help us out when we're doing the real thing.
That's where I'm bound.
Oh, my zoom's just, sorry, minimized. Okay, let's do that again. Oh, where's the blimmin'? Okay, here we go. Same thing.
Oh, that's where I'm bound. I know when I get there, the first thing I see.
Okay, rhythm-wise, that's really, really good, but we just need to make sure that we hold that pitch on C, okay? And to do that, we just need to put more support in and do that thing where I've said get louder throughout that note. The first thing I see. Because if we don't, it's so easy. See. Because as soon as we get quieter, it's very easy to drop that pitch, yeah? And when we come to singing this for real in the hall, we as basses need to keep that pitch high, because otherwise it's just going to drop, 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 drop. So we need to really be aware of that. Don't close off the E vowel as well. The first thing I see, it's not a C, because then that's tightened it and that makes it lose pitch as well. C, C, just like you'd normally say C, like just speak it, C, and that's the mouth shape. You wouldn't go see, would you? I see you. Don't sing it like that. Just sing it exactly how you would speak it. See, just with the mouth like that. Yeah, it will really, really help.
Is the sun shining golden?
Really nice last note on done. But again, just the is the sun. That will help so much with the click track, because it's is the sun. Yeah. So we just make sure that we come in really strongly there. But everybody had sopranos, altos, tenors. Everybody's had difficulty with that. So just make sure that we're bang on. Is the sun shining? But that will help so much with that click track. Just making sure that we go. Is the sun going down on sun? A couple of us went up to the tenor line there. It's really, really close. It's quite easy to do that, but just making sure that we go, is the sun shining golden? Cool.
Shining right down on me.
Same thing with the C. Me, not me. Don't keep it lifted. Just me. E sound, yeah?
Then trouble's gonna lose me.
See what I mean? It's just hesitant, yeah. It's all it is. It's hesitant. When we get that blend on the long notes, if it's not an E and it's falling, when we're holding that, it's a beautiful blend. But it's just confidence to come in really, really strongly on that, because everyone sort of came on in worry there at a different time. It sounds way worse than it is when everything's together like this. When you're listening to it individually, honestly, it's a lot better. But yeah, so it's one, worry, leave me behind. So just really, we've got to really practice that. And practice with the click track. It will help so much, and try and match it exactly the same as what the track is doing. Keeping the vowel open on hind, yeah? All these long notes, we need to keep that vowel open every single time. Worry, leave me behind, rather than hind, because you're just saying goodbye to blend, we need to make sure, something that I went on about last week with the sops and altos, it's hard for starters singing this song, this arrangement, but it's extra hard because we haven't been singing in a choir now for a year. So we've just forgotten about all of these, how to blend, what we would usually do, and we've sort of we might have developed some bad habits, and singing on our own as a soloist is completely different to how we sing as a section. So you've got to imagine, I know it's really hard to do, but you've got to imagine that you're singing as a section as a choir, blending as just a cappella, not singing how you would just do it at home. Yeah. And you've got to, when you record this, imagine that you're surrounded by your bass section and blending together. So don't go high, because that will just stick out. So ha, keep that vowel open. Really, really important to do that.
And I'll stand up proudly.
So just make that's really, and I'll stand up proud, going down on proudly. So you've got a weird note there. It's not the obvious note to hit. Just get, sorry, piano. And I'll stand up proudly. Making sure that's the lowest note of the piece. So just make sure that that's we practice that, and then it's exactly the same line.
In true peace of mind.
Going down again in true peace of mind. And again, coming in on that phrase. And I'll stand up proudly. 1, 2. In true peace of mind. So we're really, really confident with that, yeah? Rather than sort of a hesitant in kind of thing. The rest is there for silence, yeah? So keep it. The rest is just as important as if when there are notes, you know. Okay, and then nothing on these commands.
Way over yonder.
Really, really nice blend there. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really nice entrance on Way Over Yonder. A couple of us tiny bit rushed because we've just had 2 bars of nothing and everyone's afraid of silence. So we tend to rush, you know, when we come back in. So just, but really nice entrance in bar 65. Way over yonder. Off. That was really, really nice.
Is a place I have seen.
And just make sure that we don't go into the tenor part. There is a place I have seen. Everybody struggled with this rhythm, sops and altos included. So when that triplet is a place, it's a lot quicker than we think. So 1, 2, 3 is a place. 1, 2, 3 is a place. Yeah. So is a place. So after 3, 1, 2, 3 is a place I have seen. And again, you've got that E, seen, I've seen. You know, speak it. I've seen. You want this mouth shape. I've seen. You don't want to go, I've seen, because you speak it like that. Exactly the same as how you'd speak it. Cool.
In the garden of wisdom, from some long ago dream, maybe tomorrow.
Cool. Really, really good key change there, to be honest. But yeah, still doing it in 2 parts, just so we can sort of separate that and just make sure that's super, super accurate. Again, making sure that we're maybe tomorrow. It's difficult because sometimes there's quite a lot of times actually where the bass and tenor stay on the same note. And then split off. So we've got to really make sure that, for example, on bar 76, you know, the tenor and basses are together from some, but maybe just draw a down arrow there, so we know that we go from some long rather than from some long, going up to that tenor part, making sure that we're always sort of lower.
I'll find my way to the land where the Hun runs in the rivers each day, and the sweet tasting good life is so easily found.
So I mean, really nice blend on the found. It's just the start of the phrases, we're all a little bit hesitant, aren't we, coming in, which will hopefully be so much easier with that click track, you know, 1, 2, is so easily found. But sort of halfway through the phrase to the end, it's always fantastic. It's always a really, really nice blend, but it's just coming in really strongly at the start of the phrase.
Way over yonder.
just going down to that note again, just making sure that that way over yonder, making sure that's really strong. That's where I'm bound. Now this is a tricky bit.
That's where I'm bound, way over yonder. That's where
I mean, that's hard, really hard to sing in time. But a really nice blend on the last note. That's really hard to sing in time without the click track anyway. But yeah, just making sure it's really, 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 really hard to mix if we're unsure about our entrance point and we're sort of getting into a habit of just holding the consonant until it happens. So it's like way kind of thing. So we need to get rid of that habit immediately, because even in a live situation, that won't sound good. We just need to practice 1, 2, way over, way. So what I want you to do is really just listen to that those recording learning tracks, and it's the start of phrases that we really need to work on. End of phrase is generally really good, really strong, beautiful blend, but it's the start of each phrase that we need to work on. And like the shape of the phrases, in terms of like detail, everything that I've said about crescendoing through, the inner parts are the inner parts, but the sop part and the bass part, there's the building blocks of the harmony. So you as sort of the sop part and the bass part, you need to sort of make a real strong impression with all the detail, and it's the inner parts that will sort of follow you in terms of this. So we really need to sort of go overboard with all this, like getting louder when you've got a long note, which is pretty much at the end of every phrase. Ride down on me, and it will help so much with tuning as well, keeping it lifted, keeping it really strong, and force you to support throughout that phrase. Please just take your time with it as well. Do like 6 takes, across a couple of weeks, spread it out. Don't listen to them. I can't remember what I've told people, so apologies if I'm repeating myself, but do like say this Saturday I'm going to do some recording. Record 2 takes. Do not listen back to them. Just record one after the other. Then pick another day, either the next day or a couple of days later. Record another 2 takes. Okay. Again, don't listen back to them. And then maybe do one more, and then listen back to all of them. Yeah. That's really important. Just listen back to all of them and say, right, I keep on doing that here, because you've all got ears. You all know what you're doing. You all know what sounds good and what sounds bad. And then just either send one of those, might be ready to go, and send, or you might do like the first day of recording 2 takes that you actually thought that went really, really well, and listen back. And if you're really happy with one, upload it. Done. Job done. But take your time with it. Don't ever do a take and immediately listen back to it, because then suddenly we're listening with a critical ear, and then it's really hard to be positive, in future takes. So literally just do a whole load of takes in one. And then I sort of talked about the whole psychology of like recording last week to the sops and altos. Like I always, if I have to do a recording for something, no matter what it is, I always sort of dress up kind of like as if I'm doing a gig. So I'll put my gig jacket on, because it just puts that sort of performance hat on me, and I'm like in the zone. Then I'm saying, right, I've got to sing this, I've got to perform this track, because it's really easy just to sort of sit on our sofa and just record it. You know what I mean? Because I mean, my singing teacher always used to say you can hear a smile in a recording, and I think that's always true. You can hear emotion just you don't need the video. The video will be there, but I think if we nail this audio track, and with so much emotion, and like you tell the story throughout it, it really comes across in your singing. So yeah, always have that, put a jacket on, get in that zone. I don't know, turn the lights off and put a spotlight on you, just something that will sort of get you in that, like that performing mode, because it will really come across in your audio recording. But yeah, no, some really great stuff on in that, but obviously some things to work on. Any questions? Yeah, I mean, just yeah, keep working at it. Concentrate on the first of the phrases. Take your time with it as well. Don't leave it to the last minute. You know, spend. We just got under a month, so maybe if you are finding it tricky, because it is a tricky arrangement, um, just do it a couple of times, like 5 minutes a day. You know, my tutor at college always said 5 10 minutes of really good practice is better than a 2 hour rehearsal sometimes. So literally just put it on in the background, you know, while you're chopping for dinner or something, and or just whatever, get that sound in your heads, in your ears, and yeah, it will come, it will be absolutely brilliant. Cool, excellent. Any final questions? Lovely. Thanks, Bases. That's brilliant.
Thank you, Ben.